Hello, I am Uthman, and you are listening to Win Win English, podcasting from Iraq. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. My name is Uthman, and welcome to Win Win English. Today, I am really excited to share something special with you. So, I've decided to divide this podcast into two parts. The first part will be the main speech where I will talk about different topics and experiences that happened to me, of course. And the second part will be a vocabulary lesson where we will dive deep into the words and the phrases from the first part. I will of course break them down for you in a way that you will never going to forget it. So, for today's episode, I want to tell you a story that happened to me about 5 years ago. A moment that really shaped the way I think right now about how to learn English. It's connected to my experience of learning Turkish too. So let's get started with the story. At the same time, I just wanted to tell you the things that happened and affected on my learning journey. So, I was living in Turkey, a beautiful country with so much to offer. I moved there from Iraq because of the circumstances and the difficult situation in my home country. So we decided to relocate, and we ended up in Antalya, the nice the fairest country I've ever moved to. It's a very gorgeous city by the coast. So one day I decided to go for a walk, okay, a normal walk. And I was just wandering around, enjoying the scenery, and ended up near the beach. Like it's such a peaceful place, with the sound of the waves and everything else. As I was walking, I come across an older man who owned a small souvenir shop. You know, the souvenirs, like the kind where you can buy a little trinkets to remember your trip by. You know this? Anyway, he called me over asking me to check out his shop, but I didn't have any money on that time. So he must have noticed because instead of insisting, he offered me a drink, and we started talking in the front of his shop. It was a lovely conversation, all in, of course, all it was in Turkish. So suddenly, a British family approached us, and they were asking for directions. Now, I had been living in Antalya for about a year and a half, maybe, so I know the area pretty well, and this was my chance, right? I've been learning English for over 10 years, and I thought this is the moment to use it. Like, I felt pretty confident since I've been doing well with the Turkish, so why not English? Like, that was my thoughts that time. But like, here is where things took a strange turn. I stood up, ready to help and to speak, but when I opened my mouth, like nothing at all. All I could manage to say was go, go. Like, and then I just pointed in the directions with my hand. That that was something very frustration. It was like my brain just frozen. I had spent so many years learning this language, and in the moment I couldn't speak. So what made it worse was the old man, the Turkish man, who barely spoke any English, was able to communicate better than me. Like, can you imagine the how frustrating that was? Hey, having studied English for a decade course, and yet this man was doing a better job at helping the tourists than I was. That's very disappointing. So I felt so embarrassed and disappointed in myself. But from that moment, something changed in me. I realized that learning a language isn't just about what you learn in school. It's not about memorizing grammar rules or filling out worksheets. It's about immersion. You need to surround yourself with the language. Listen to it, practice it, and make it a part of your life. That's the only way to really learn a language, and that's why I am here talking to you today because I believe that learning English or any language should be something you enjoy. Do what you love, but do it in English. Listen to music, watch movies, have conversations, and most importantly, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Trust me, I've made plenty of them. All right, that's it for I think everything for this episode. I think this is going to be the part one, and I don't know if I'm going to make the part two of today's episode. I hope you found this story reliable and maybe even a little inspiring, maybe. So, I'm going to say for you, stay tuned for the second part where we will break down the vocabulary from this story. And I don't think I'm going to do this now. So, like, you're staying tuned. Maybe I'm going to do this in the second episode. We will be going to explore each word in depth, and I think going to be in the second episode. Yeah. So thank you for listening, and remember, learning a language is a journey, not a race. Take care of you.